Hi guys, this is Greg with Best Choice Trailers. Today I want to take you for a walk around the new Sure-Trac 2020 6x12 enclosed cargo trailer. This is the STW, the Sure-Trac Wedge model. It's a 6x12, 2990 rated trailer. Comes in a handful of other sizes, 5x8, 5x10, 6x10, 6x12. But again, shown here is the 6x12 most common size. Let's take a walk around the trailer. We'll show you all the standard features as well as a few of the changes for this year. So a 2-inch ball coupler is pretty much what you're going to find on all single axles. This one's got, of course, your standard safety chains. As with all your single axles, you have a 4-prong plug. Now you notice Sure-Trac, this is one of the new features. They do a setback jack. So instead of your traditional A-frame jack where you got a decent chance at dinging a tailgate over time, it's set back. So your gate's a little more protected, also gives you a little more stability. You've got integrated chain holders as well. Now actually we're used to putting them down there, but with these they also hook in there, so our guys just need to get used to that, but you can hook them either spot. Of course you've got your shrink tube wiring in your grommeted frame. So a lot of manufacturers will do a staple up, they grommet, run it in frame. You'll notice the tongue on this has a little more sheen than most. This is a blasted and powder coated frame. If it also looks a little bigger, that's because it is. They use a 2x4-inch tube, where most of the industry on a single axle is going to use a 2x3-inch tube. You also notice standard from Sure-Trac is the sand foot at the bottom of the jack. If you ever had a trailer, certainly you've experienced the trailer going down into dirt and sand and whatnot. This just keeps you from having to crank the trailer up or carry around a block of wood, etc. You also notice the trim on this a little bit nicer than most. It's going to be a 3-inch trim, where a lot of the industry on this size is going to use a 1-inch. Now, if you take a close look at the fasteners, those are lags, self-tapping lags, not trim screws. A lot heavier duty. So most of the industry on the trim are going to use these guys, designed for sheet metal. So again, a little bit nicer there. You also notice a lot more lags than most in the industry, and you'll notice the mitered corners. Many will just cut to a 90 and call it a day. A lot nicer the way they trim it. You also notice it's a 2-foot stone guard. We see more and more doing a 12 or an 18-inch. Sure-Trac for 19 did the anodized nose on these and the rear hoop, which we'll get to in a little bit. Gives it a nice look. I believe last year also we got the bullet LEDs. Give it a cleaner look than the old stud mount lights. The side door on this is an RV style door, a little bit nicer than your in-house made strap hinge doors you used to see years ago. You also notice other details, an aluminum door holdback, where some, or I should say many in the industry, are going to use plastic. Plastic deteriorates and breaks. This is also a metal door handle. Most of the industry on that are also going to use plastic. You'll notice the back side of the door on this has a nice finish. It's a solid door, foam-filled, extruded polystyrene, not the expanded white cooler foam that you sometimes see as well. Now, deadbolt on these for a lock. You've also got the locking handle on the outside, so you can lock it 2 different ways. Aluminum wheels on these, standard equipment. It's got a 205/75 R15 load range C 6-ply radial tire, also standard with an aluminum Jeep style fender. If the trailer looks clean and neat and tidy from the outside, that's because this is a screwless exterior. A lot of the industry, you'll get screws either on a 16 or 24 center. Screwless, been around a long time. Used in a lot of applications, normally seen in your nicer, higher dollar trailers. Certainly not only is it visually more appealing, certainly more user-friendly. Anybody's going to decal the trailer, any businesses that are going to wrap the trailer, saves you guys some money and time. It is an 030 metal as well, not the thinner 024. You ever see a warped and wavy trailer, generally that's going to be 024. Sidewall vents, so we got 2 side vents, one at the rear passenger side, one at the front driver side, designed for cross ventilation in the trailer. And this is the Sure-Trac Pro Series, soon to be coming out. Sure-Trac's releasing a midline trailer that is going to be a little less features than this, similar in structure. Rear door on this is a ramp door. As with most all of our cargo trailers, ramps are far more common. That is generally what we primarily stock. A couple different things on Sure-Trac's ramp doors. First of all, they use what I call a full width hinge. That hinge, ballpark, about 9 inches, give or take, across, as opposed to the mini, what we call half hinge, which is about 4.5. Notice it's also got the grease zerd on it. Couple other differences, they also put round stock at the back, so if you bought them out, you're not going to rip up the back end of the trailer, as is semi-common. A couple other details: security latches on the rear door. Most in the industry are going to put a single piece of strap there, leave the 2 screw heads unprotected. On this, it's a security latch, it covers those up. If a thief wants to steal your stuff, they're going to have to work a little bit harder. They can certainly still steal it. Where there's a will, there's a way, but they're gonna have to work a little bit harder to get to it. This is made in Indiana Flexco hardware. We like it. This one's making me look silly. It's not, there we go. It is a cold 30 some degrees here, but this hardware is really making me look stupid here. But it's a lot more user friendly than the Chinese hardware that does not go that easy, and also is smaller. This is a little bit taller hardware, and these do not squeak when they go back and forth like the non-bushing Chinese versions that we commonly see. A couple of little benefits. You'll also notice on this trailer aluminum dual handle hardware. A lot in the industry are going to have a single handle. A lot of times it'll be plastic, so spend a few extra dollars there. You also notice the trim. That is aluminum trim mitered, so behind that is steel. A lot of manufacturers do not bother to trim that out, just gives it a cleaner, tidy appearance, something that's not going to rust down the road. And then a lot of times, if they do trim it, they'll just use a plastic corner a little bit quicker, don't have to make as tight of a cut. Sure-Trac has chose to make the nicer cut and not use the plastic trim piece. So again, this is the white exterior. Other colors are available. We stock silver, charcoal, black, white, and pewter. Any of those are standard colors. There also are other available colors at a charge. Let's take a quick peek at the inside of the trailer. So on the Pro Series, all the studs on this are going to be made out of tube steel. So the walls and ceilings are all going to be made from tube. So we'll get to that in a second. First and foremost, I'll show you the ramp flap extension. It is standard equipment, measures about an extra foot. Notice on the ramp flap extension, they put a little bit tighter screw pattern. It's about 4.5 inches on center. Some manufacturers, particularly from down south, do about a 9-inch screw pattern. We unfortunately fix quite a few of those. They don't generally put a ramp door rating on some of these smaller trailers. Of the ratings we've seen, generally they're about 2,000 pounds, which is about the legal payload of the trailer anyway. Normally guys on this size aren't getting anything too heavy inside here. So on the floor is going to be a Advantech or Drymax type engineered wood. On the walls we've got 3/8 plywood. Now notice this is a sanded birch style plywood, not a seconds BC that we sometimes see. You also notice the wall posts. There's 2 studs on every 4-foot sheet. So you got a 16 on center wall. Again, that is tube. You also notice the vertical aluminum there. It's an aluminum H mold. They've gone away from the wand strips that peel off the walls and just look unsightly. So again, another feature benefit. Another update that they've done, they do a aluminum cove at the top to protect your wiring, make it look a little neater and tidier. Also at the back end of the trailer, a lot of times you get a little piece of aluminum back here. They've done plywood, makes it a little bit easier if you ever need to get into a back corner post, you want to add a light or whatnot, or find an issue or whatever. Just makes it easier to do. We got the back side of the door again. We said that's a hard extruded polystyrene. On the wall here, we see the dome light switch. Many will just run a switch on the actual light itself. A little bit more user friendly having it by the side door. So this is a 12-foot box, so we do not count the V. The V on this is going to measure another roughly 12 to 14 inches. That is not counted into the length. If it looks a little bit cleaner on the roof, that's because it is. Above the bows there, you see a white thermocool liner. Not only does it look nice and tidy, but it also has a reflective insulation in it. Keeps it a little bit cooler. You also see an LED dome light. Above the liner there is a one-piece aluminum roof, as opposed to the industry standard Galvalume. Galvalume is galvanized steel. Certainly steel is going to absorb more heat than aluminum, so the trailer is going to stay a little bit cooler. You also notice the roof bows on this are made out of tube as well, not a Z-post or hat post. A lot of times ceilings you'll get a hat, and walls you'll get a Z-post in a more economical trailer. Walls and ceiling on this are both tube. Again, we said the walls on this are also 16 on center, not 24. A trailer like this is going to weigh in at about 1,300 pounds. It's got a 3,500 pound set of axles and tires, but because it does not have brakes, it's going to be rated at 2990. 2990 minus 1,300. You get about 1,700 net legal payload plus roughly another 400 or 500 pounds tongue weight to the truck. It's going to take you just over 2,000. And this is available in other sizes and colors. And then there's also some available options if you need something a little different, extra height or brakes, etc. If you have any questions on this or any of our other trailers, feel free to give us a ring at 717-220-4220, or you can visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com.